Hello, friends. I am not jumping on to tell the story quite yet about what happened with that weird phone call. I will do that in the next video, but in this live, I really wanted to speak on behalf of myself and the many people that I work with around disconnection and around pain. We did not come here to experience this level of individuation, this level of separation, right? We live in a world filled with beings who are not connected to each other and not connected to themselves. You did not come here born into that separation, that deep core wound and pain that every single person on this planet goes through. You did not do that to stay there. And it breaks my heart because I have person after person after person after person who sits in front of me and says, there must be something different about me. Why is it that other people can create the connection that they want? Why is it that other people, not even good people, not even people who are even self-aware, why is it that they're getting what they need and they want and I'm not? There must be something fundamentally wrong with me. Again, that comes back to that core wound. When we are separated, when we are rejected and abandoned, we internalize that that means something about us. And then we start to take all that evidence and we go, what's the fucking point? Everything always just ends up in me being in pain. And this is futility. But I can tell you that what you are made up of is no different than anyone else. The initiation that you face is no different than anyone else. And I wish that I could bring like clips from all these fucking thousands of sessions that I've done with people and go, look, you're not alone. Look at all these other people who think the same thing, that there must be something wrong with them. Why can't they seem to create this? And what a lot of it comes down to is a split, an internal split between a part that is desperate for connection, needs it, can't unneed it, and a part that feels so alone, so futile, believes it will probably be alone forever, and says, what's the point? And it's that part of us that has given up, that part of us that believes that we don't actually get to have a happy ending, that keeps us stuck. But you're made up of the same thing as everybody else. You are no different. And you didn't come here to experience this and die. And I'm going to take it a step further and say, if we were to not commit, because what ends up happening for a lot of people is they just shut down because they have so much trauma around other people that they just fucking shut down and they give up. What's the point? I'm just going to end up getting hurt. I'm just going to end up being alone. They're never going to understand me. And I'm going to say that we're still in the process of understanding ourselves. Yeah, they might not be able to fully get into your perspective. And that's a kind of pain because we're learning how to do that here. But I digress. So back to what I was saying. This feeling of futility or this feeling of giving up, like, what's the point? It causes us, that those beliefs cause us to not take action that align us with what it is that other part of us that's desperate for connection is actually needing and wanting. And a lot of times these opposite parts have projections of each other. So the part that wants the connection is seen as weak, threatening, needy, right? That's not actually the truth of this part. If you really go into this part, it's a very different energy. And then you have maybe this side that's more shut down and closed down, and this one going, see, that's the reason why we don't have connection in our lives, because that one's just shut down, and that one doesn't trust anybody, and that one hates everybody. So in order for us to put ourselves in places, in opportunities, in order for us to actually call that into our lives, we've got to start to listen to the voice that wants something better for us, that does believe. Because if there was no part that believed that it was possible, then you would have killed yourself. People would have killed themselves a long time ago. There's some thread of hope. So we want to build up that part that wants that connection, and simultaneously hold the one that is terrified of it. And go, you know what? You have all the evidence in the world to believe that this is going to go bad. And I can't tell you with certainty that it's going to be perfect or that it's going to go well. But I know that the alternative is sitting here doing nothing. And that's guaranteed pain, which, by the way, for many parts feels safer than what's on the other side of that. It's already decided that it's not going to get what it needs. We have to be able to bring that part with us, to go, what if it's possible? I know you don't believe it's possible. I know you've got all the evidence in the world to believe that we're always going to be alone and we're never going to have that. And yet, something in me has kept me going, and yet there's some spark, there's some fire inside of me that believes or knows, like, this isn't all that there is. Like, I didn't come here to just experience this suffering, pain, which unacknowledged pain then becomes suffering. We don't do anything about it when we don't notice the indicator light is on and it's trying to tell us something about our personal truth, and then that turns into suffering. We don't have to suffer. How can I have that many people sitting in front of me telling me the same thing? I need to get everybody in a fucking room together. I need to get everybody in a fucking room together. And not just for you, not just for them, but for me. I need this just as much as everybody else does. So we can see each other. So we can go, oh God, oh, you're like me, you get me. Oh, I'm not actually alone. There is no failure here. Failure is not an option. Because like I was saying with this futility, if we go into that side, something will happen. Something always happens. If you go into the impulse of suicide, which is really what futility will lead to, if you go into that, play it out. Play it out. If that part is right, that this is all there is, this is all you're ever going to get, okay, play it out. Sit in that prison. Keep sitting there. Keep sitting there, keep sitting there, keep sitting there, keep sitting there. Eventually, something will happen. Something will fucking happen, because change is inevitable. There will be some impulse within you to go, you know what, I'm kind of angry actually. Like, I'm kind of angry that this is happening. Like, this is not right. Maybe I could look for a way out. Maybe I'll open myself to the possibility that there could be a way out of this pain. Okay, that's how it starts. And then we follow that. But that's where it always leads, right? When we give up, sometimes we have to go there. We have to let ourselves give up. We have to let ourselves say, you know what, fuck everybody. I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life. I'm never going to have anything good. Everybody else seems to be able to do this, but I can't. Yeah, okay, go there and keep going there and then stay there. And notice that something will start to burn. It'll start to burn off of you. Something will shift and you'll go, fuck this. Fuck this. No. I am a warrior. I I didn't come here to just like be like, okay, this is how it is. I guess it's just what's happening. Then I'm just gonna fucking, no. You go, you know what? If there are no safe relationships, or if safe relationships are at a limited supply, then I better do everything that I can to become a safe person in this world. To have these conversations, to talk to people, to go, I'm fucking scared. I just had to do that the other day when I had huge emotions come up around a tribe member, somebody that I feel very connected to. And I was scared of losing that person, even though I know I have to be honest and authentic about who I am, because if I'm meant to have those people, then they will be in my life and they won't abandon me because I have an emotion. But it doesn't change the fact that that fear is still there, and I have to bring that conversation in. We all have to bring that conversation in, because you're not the only one thinking that. And if we pretend and we go, I've got this, yeah, I can just put myself out there, and it's not going to work that way. We got to put our egos down and go, okay, we've all been really fucking traumatized by other people. Every single person has been traumatized by other people. And yet, we need each other to be nourished, to thrive. So we better become that change. And we better have a mentality that there is no failing. Because the failure to reconnect, there is nothing else. There is nothing else other than relationships. We have to learn how to do this. And I know it's painful. And I know that you've been hurt many times. I'm going to get very emotional. If we let that close our hearts down, then we do not win. Do not let it close your heart down. Do not let it turn your heart black. Do not let it have you compound in on yourself. Don't do it. Your heart and the energy that it provides this world when it is alive is so immense. And though the world would love to snuff out all of these bright, shining stars, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen to me. It's not going to happen to you. Because we're way too powerful. I know how much it hurts. I know how much we've all been through. And that is even more reason to do everything that we can to not let it end this way. Many of you are still alive. It almost took you. It almost took me. But we're still here because we have more work to do. We are alchemists. Do you know how incredible it is that you're in this body? That it's so perfect, that it does this, that all the organs are in the right place, that we can do what we do? It's miraculous. And we are alchemists. These bodies, these organic vessels, they're alchemy. We can turn it around. We can transform it. And there will be days, where it feels like you don't want to get up. That's okay. So long as you do get up. And don't let your pain convince you that you are the only one feeling that nobody else understands you. That's bullshit. Every single fucking person on this live right now, and every fucking person who's going to watch this, knows it. They know that feeling because they're human. So don't let that pain convince you that you're alone. Let it be the fuel that drives you for connection. Full stop. No failure. And the question that we should all be asking ourselves is, will we still continue to commit to that? Or to commit to a friendship or a connection or a lover with no guarantee of what the end result will be? Now, hopefully, if we're in conscious relationships, we can, change a dynamic when it no longer is working. But that doesn't always happen. So will you still choose to commit to connection, even if you knew that there were no guarantees of forever friendship? Would you still do it? I think there's probably times in everybody's life where they say, I don't know about that, because that sucks. I don't like that. Is there another option? The other option is that, it doesn't have to be that way. Yes, people will come and go, but you're not supposed to be alone. You're not supposed to be alone. And we won't be. So use the fire from this conversation to take action in your life that creates a world that is one that you want to live in. I love you all very, very much. Thank you for receiving this message from my heart. Thank you for receiving my vulnerability. And I will probably jump on here maybe tonight to do the story about what happened. Somatic and Sexuality said, I find that I do, regardless of where it'll end up, having trust and deep connection no matter what the structure looks like or may look like. So she's committed. That's beautiful. All right, guys. Love you. Aw, and some of my people just came in right at the end. Well, you gonna have to rewatch it. Show us the cats. Taylor, I'm not showing the cats right now. Yes, I'm posting this in my story. She's always like, show me the cats. Bye, guys.